Physical education in public schools across the country may look a little different soon.
That's right, or maybe look similar to a lot of people that went through school already. Over the weekend, President Trump signed an executive order reviving the presidential fitness test, but this news has a lot of parents concerned this morning. 90s medical expert Dr. Kohli joins us now for a deeper look into that test. Dr. Kohli, good morning.
Good morning. You guys remember doing this?
Oh, absolutely. We're just sharing our memories with each other. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the test? I don't think I actually knew where it came from and why we did it.
Yeah, we've been doing it for decades, actually. It started in the 1950s, and it was because they realized that the American youth were not doing as well compared to their international peers in terms of their physical level of fitness. So they put in basically this test where you have to do pull-ups and push-ups and sit-ups and, do a 6.5-minute mile and try to do all kinds of other activities to show that you're physically fit. And it was a competitive test, so you're competing against your peers. We had it for decades until early 2000s when a lot of pediatricians started raising concerns about it, and then President Obama got rid of it in 2012 and replaced it with a test called a fitness gram, where they actually look at kind of your individualized health goals rather than having everybody sort of held to the same standard.
Why was it criticized? What was the problem there that they were seeing?
So a few different things, Lauren. The first is that they actually said that it emphasizes competition over progress. So you're not focusing on your health, you're more focusing on winning. And then, that can lead to obviously mental health issues. There were a subset of kids, especially those with developmental delay and disabilities, who had a lot of distress from it because they just weren't able to keep up and they weren't able to do it. And it said it sort of misses the boat because you're missing the big picture. The point is not just to win a competition. The point is to be more fit from a cardiovascular perspective. So you're not talking about nutrition. You're not talking about sleep. You're not talking about holistic approach to health. You're just talking about doing this little race or these push-ups or pull-ups or sit-ups or what have you.
I think about this a lot in adults, who obviously grew up doing this test. This is kind of how they view fitness, as a little bit more of intense versus something fun, that is something that they can sustain. And I wonder maybe if that's kind of linked back to all those years ago. Now, we have seen a new commercial recently that it kind of shows American kids as soft. I think it actually calls them the marshmallow generation.
Yeah.
How concerned are you about kids' fitness as it currently stands?
I am very concerned. 20% of American adolescents are obese, and only 1 in 3 are active every single day, and only 1 in 4 actually meet the goals that they're supposed to. So I think we're headed in the wrong direction. So to that regard, I'm kind of happy that we're starting to put the focus back on fitness, because I do think it's gotten neglected, especially with the screen time.
Right, yes.
The amount of time we spend indoors. We are much, much, much more sedentary in terms of our kids than we were ever before. But I think there have to be ways to do it that doesn't encourage so much competition.
This is all about the physical competition, right? It's all physical, but what about the mental component of this?
Then that's exactly right. So you're basically pitching people against somebody else. And we know that when we're developing as adolescents, we all develop differently. So our physical skill sets develop differently. But mentally, we're starting to get our body identity, our self-identity. And if you start to put everybody in the same standard, we know that these kind of competitive tests can actually create a lot of body image issues, a lot of mental health issues, self-esteem issues, in an era where we already have so much mental health problems. We already have the influencers. We already have people holding themselves up to impossible standards. And that's what we're doing. So I think there's a better way to do it that does focus on holistic health. And my personal reaction, again, is I'm excited that we're talking about fitness in our kids, but I think we should do it in a way where we're really talking about holistic fitness, not necessarily how many pull-ups and push-ups you can do in 1 minute.
I agree with you that I'm excited we're talking about fitness in our younger generation once again. I wish we would do it across all generations, really, whatever that may mean for, each individual. How do you recommend that we get that exercise, or that we kind of evaluate each child for that?
So, the guidelines are 60 minutes a day for our adolescents. So 1 hour a day your child needs to be active. And I think if you can make it a family activity, that's a great way to encourage. Maybe after dinner, you all go for a bike ride, especially now that the days are longer, or do something before dinner, or have, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night as a family activity. So it's worked in to your family time. Gamifying is something they've looked at. And I think Lauren does this a lot on her social media, where you encourage people to sort of make it a game, make it something fun, make it interesting, because that motivates people. So using a carrot rather than a stick, to help people do it. And then really talking to your kids also about tuning into their hunger cues, trying to avoid those sugary drinks, a lot of the things that we don't actively talk to our children about, to make sure that they're paying attention and not getting, needless calories.
It really is kind of a mental reverse. Even thinking about diet, we used to tell ourselves, well, we're not letting ourselves have this. But when you think about, well, what does my body want? Like, what does it actually need?
Right.
And you actually, like, I'm doing this for my body, not against my body. You're able to do so much more when you change your mindset.
Completely, and it's a very positive spin. It helps create positive relationships with food and exercise, rather than saying I have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym because I get to spend me time nurturing my body. And as you said, Jordan, I'm denying myself this. No, that's not the right way to do it. It's to say, well, I'm going to be mindful, and I don't think I'm really hungry. I'm just stress eating or eating because I'm bored or whatever.
Or I'm going to give my body what it actually is asking me to give it.
Exactly.
It's all about perspective, Dr. Kohli. Thank you so much.